Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Grady Tech, and in this video, I'll be showing you all the best features of the Redmi 9. By the way, I've already posted a dedicated video for the tips and tricks section where I've talked about many things which I won't be covering in this video. So definitely check out that video, link will be in the description. Now with that said, the most highlighting feature about this phone will start off with its performance. This phone sports a MediaTek Helio G35 processor with PowerVR 8320 GPU with 4GB of LPDDR4X RAM and up to 128GB of storage. These are the benchmark scores. This is definitely one of the most powerful phones that you can get in this price segment. It's not the best phone for gaming, but at the price segment it's pretty decent and you can play smaller games without any issues. Next, this phone also comes with a pretty good display. It has a 6.53-inch IPS display with HD resolution with a dot drop notch with 400 nits of brightness. Once again, this is one of the best displays that you can get in the price segment. Next, this phone also comes with some pretty impressive cameras. On the rear, this phone has a dual camera setup with a 13MP primary camera, and for selfies, you get a 5MP camera with f2.2 aperture. These are some sample shots. Next, this phone also comes with a fingerprint scanner and it is pretty fast. Well, not as fast as the Oppo and Realme phones, but still it's pretty fast and definitely usable. Next, we also have the face unlock feature and that too works pretty well. In good lighting conditions, it is decently fast. It takes like a second or two to unlock. In low lighting conditions, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds to unlock, and in complete darkness, sometimes it fails. Most of the time it's much slower, takes more than 2 to 3 seconds. Next we have Share Me, which was earlier called as Mi Drop. Now this feature is just like Share It, but just for the Xiaomi phones to transfer files between Xiaomi phones or Wi-Fi. Next we have Wi-Fi Assistant. Now mostly this feature will be enabled by default. This feature automatically switches your Wi-Fi connection depending upon the connection speed and signal strength. If for some reason your Wi-Fi network is not working or if the Wi-Fi connection is poor, mobile data is turned on automatically. Going on next, we can also hide applications on this phone. You can do it directly from these settings, but this particular feature works only with the default launcher. Like if you install any third-party launcher, say like Nova Launcher, then you can still see those hidden applications. But as long as you're using the default home screen launcher, those applications will be hidden. Next, we have a new feature called Short Video. And just like the name suggests, it'll record video for a short duration. But we have 5 different speed modes, and there's also Kaleidoscope mode, where it records everything in kaleidoscope view. You can also add some music that comes with it. And finally, you can create some quick videos with different effects. If you like to make some quick short videos, this is something you might want to use. Going on next, we can also change the font styles on this phone, which is pretty rare to see on other phones. On this phone, we can change the pre-existing fonts and we can also download them from the theme section. Next, we have a brand new control center which looks pretty similar to iOS, and you can enable it from the display settings. Once you enable it, you can swipe from the right side corner for the control center or the notification toggles, and you can swipe from the left side for the regular notifications. Yes, it's copied, but who cares? It's really nice. Next, we have Ultra Battery Saver. This is pretty similar to Samsung's maximum power saving mode, and once you enable this feature, it turns on the dark theme, restricts power consumption, background activity, reduces the screen brightness, and does all kinds of things to improve your phone's standby time. In this mode, we can only use few applications. Let's say if you're running low on battery and have just 10% of battery left, and you don't want your phone to die out on you, then you can enable this mode and use your phone for a couple of hours. Next, we have Sunlight mode for the brightness settings. Normally there are people who really don't like auto brightness and they want fixed brightness. For all those people, whenever they go outdoors, suddenly their phone becomes too dim to do anything. And this feature is for those people. So once you enable this feature, whenever your phone detects a strong ambient light, your phone will automatically increase the screen brightness. It's definitely a must-have feature. Next we have Glance for MI. If you're someone who likes to change your lock screen wallpaper all the time, then this is a great feature for you. Once you enable this feature, every time you wake up your phone, you get a different wallpaper. From settings, you can also select categories so that you can get wallpapers only from those particular categories. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the dark mode. Now you can enable this feature from display settings, and once you turn it on, all the UI elements change to the dark mode theme, and now the UI looks much more cooler. Now this dark mode helps you save some battery and strains your eyes less if you're using your phone late at night.
Next we have Palm Shutter. Now this is a new feature added with the latest version of MIUI, and it's also available on all of the phones. Once you enable this feature, you can just show your palm to your front camera to take a selfie. Next, I'm going to show you some important MIUI 11 related features. First, we have different notification styles. From here, you can choose between Android style or MIUI styles, and there is definitely a pretty significant difference between the notification styles of stock Android and MIUI. Next, we have video wallpapers. Now, using this feature, you can set up a video as your lock screen wallpaper or a home screen wallpaper. Here's a quick preview. Next, we have digital well-being. Now, this is a feature from Google which literally tracks all your usage, analyzes it, and gives you a complete report. Using this feature, you can track your usage, and if you want, you can also put restrictions upon yourself. Like, if you don't want to use YouTube for more than 15 minutes a day, you can put such restrictions using this feature. Next, we have wind down. This is another feature from Google which is part of digital well-being. This feature will allow you to automatically enable Do Not Disturb mode and grayscale mode at a specific time on any given day. This feature is more like a gentle reminder to go to sleep early. Next, it has AI mode for the Red camera. Just like most of the phones these days, even this phone comes with a dedicated AI mode for the Red camera, and it can automatically detect the scene and enhance some things about the image. These are the sample pictures. Next, it offers portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras. Now, this is like the most common feature we find in almost all the phones these days, and even this phone offers that. Now, these are some sample pictures.
Going on next, we have full screen gestures, and once you enable these gestures, you can swipe from the bottom of the screen to go home, swipe and hold for recent taps, and you can swipe from the left side or right side to go back a step. For Google Assistant, swipe from the bottom left corner or bottom right corner diagonally, and it will trigger Google Assistant. Besides that, you can also swipe and hold from the left side or right side to quickly switch between the current application and previous application. This is one of the few phones out there that actually has this feature.
Now, going on next, we have Quick Ball. You want to use your phone single-handedly? Then this is a great solution for you. Once you enable this feature, a floating bubble will pop up. You can use it in two ways. You can either tap and select the option, or else we can swipe. Personally, I like to go with swipe option with navigation keys. Once everything is properly set up, you can simply swipe on the floating bubble to go back, go home, or even open recent taps page. Now, going on next, we have some handy gestures. First, we have the double tap to wake. Now, this one is pretty simple. Just enable this feature and double tap your screen to wake it up. If you are using Face Unlock on this phone, then you can simply double tap your phone. Phone wakes up, sees your face, and immediately unlocks the phone. You don't even have to use the fingerprint scanner. It is super convenient. Next, we have Raise to Wake. Now, this is another super useful feature. Once you enable this feature, every time you raise your phone, your display lights up and shows you the lock screen. Once again, if you have enabled Face Unlock feature, it wakes up, sees your face, and immediately unlocks the phone. So this feature in combination with Face Unlock works just like the latest iPhones. Now, going on next, we have two super shortcuts to quickly open the camera application. First way is to open the camera application by pressing the power button twice. This particular shortcut works anywhere and anytime. Just enable it from additional settings, and every time you press the power button twice, camera application will pop up almost immediately. Most of the time it works. Another way to open camera application is from the lock screen. Now, once you enable this feature from lock screen settings, on your lock screen, you can press the volume down button twice to quickly open the camera application. Well, that's a feature and it works, but personally, I still like to use the power button. Now, going on next, we have 3-finger screenshot. Now, before I show you that feature, let me show you how to take a regular screenshot. On this phone or any other phone out there, especially Android phones, if you want to take a screenshot, press the volume down and power button both at the same time. Once you do that, your phone will take a screenshot. For some reason, if that's a bit difficult for you, you can always use the notification toggle. Now, coming back to 3-finger screenshot, once you enable this feature, you can simply swipe down using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. This is personally my favorite way to take a screenshot. Next, we have long screenshot. Now, to take a long screenshot on this phone, first we need to take a regular screenshot. we can either use the buttons, notification toggle, or the gesture. And once you have taken a picture, you will get a preview at the top right corner of the screen. Just click that and then click scroll. Your phone will scroll the current application automatically and then take a long screenshot. If you want to stop in between, you can always click the done button and it will take a long screenshot up to that point. You can find those long screenshots along with your regular screenshots. Next, we have a shortcut to turn on the torch. Now there are many ways to turn it on, but personally I like to long press the back button to turn on the torch. This is how you do it. And once you're done, you can press and hold the back button anywhere, anytime. That's when your phone is unlocked to turn on the torch. Now that's definitely a very convenient way to turn on the torch. And once you're done doing it again, it'll turn it off. Next we have Dual Apps. Now Xiaomi has this awesome feature called Dual Apps, which allows you to use 2 instances of the same application. That means you can use 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, 2 Twitter accounts, or even 2 WhatsApp accounts on the same phone. Now there are many phones out there that offer a similar feature, but all those brands offer this feature only for few applications, especially social media applications. While on this phone, we can use Dual Apps feature on literally all the applications. Next we have reading mode. On many other phones it's also called as night mode, and once you enable this feature, it puts a warm tint on the screen and filters the blue light. According to research, blue light emitted by our displays at night will affect our sleep. So using this feature will prevent that. We can also change the intensity of the warm tint. We can also schedule it to turn on and turn off at a specific time or at sunrise and sunset. Now going on next, we also have the option to record calls automatically on this phone. Now this feature is definitely available in India, but I don't know about other places. And if you want to activate it, you need to open the phone dialer, go to settings, then select call recording and turn it on. You can either record all the calls or few specific calls. If you have signed into your MI account, you can also back up all these call logs. Next we have increasing ringtone volume. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, ringtone volume starts with low volume and gradually increases. Next we have flash when ringing. Once you enable this feature, every time you get a call, your flashlight, that's the rear flash, flickers. Next we have mute first ring from unknown numbers. Now once you enable this feature, every time you get a call from any unknown number, first ring, that's probably 2 to 3 seconds, will be silent, and after that, you will hear the ringtone. Next, this phone has a super handy feature to identify unknown numbers. Just like Truecaller, Xiaomi collects information from various sources to identify spam and scam calls. It isn't as effective as Truecaller, but it does work. Now going on next, we can also change the background app usage. MIUI offers you additional options to tweak individual apps to further improve battery life. You can completely stop applications from running in the background. You can restrict background access. You can restrict background sync and usage and do stuff like that. It might help, but usually its effects are not that visible. Now going on next, we have wireless display. Now using this feature, you can cast the screen of your phone to any television with Miracast or to a Chromecast. This feature works really well with MI TVs. Now going on next, we have some features to improve the audio experience on headset. Now using this particular page, you can select the type of headset you're using. If you're already using a Xiaomi headset, you can further tune your phone to give you best results for that particular headset. You also get the equalizer settings to tweak the audio further according to your preference. Now going on next, we have themes. If you're someone who likes to tweak the look and feel of your phone, then Xiaomi phones or MIUI itself is great for that. You have tons of themes, tons of fonts and wallpapers and stuff. You can download it from the Themes app and apply them with just a click of a button. Next we have a super handy feature called Scanner. It's more like an application itself. Now this is how it looks like. You can scan a regular QR code and most importantly take pictures of documents. Now no matter which angle you take pictures in, it automatically aligns the page, changes the perspective and crops the image to give you the perfect document. You can also grayscale it and copy the text from the image. Next we have screen recording. Now if you're someone who likes to record the screen of your phone, then on this phone there is a dedicated application called Recorder just to do that. Just open the application and click the record button. You will see a floating button and you can start recording whenever you want by clicking that big red button. Once you're done, you can click the stop button and you can find that recording in your gallery. Next we have a feature called SMS schedule. Now using this feature, we can automatically send an SMS on a specific date at a specific time. This is probably one of the most coolest features of this phone. Well, nowadays most people don't send messages, well especially SMS, but if you're someone who want to automate it, you can do it on this phone. Next we have auto start permission. No matter how many times you kill any application or close an application, some applications start automatically in the background, say like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and they end up draining the battery, especially if you don't use those apps a lot. So using this feature, you can restrict those applications from auto starting in the background. Next we have Pocket Mode. Once you enable this feature, your phone will prevent all accidental touches when your phone is in your pocket. Next we have App Vault. Now, looking at the name, you might think it's an app lock kind of a feature. Well, it's not. In the default launcher on the leftmost screen, you get a dedicated page with multiple widgets for quick shortcuts, notes, stock prices, call a cab feature, cricket scores, and so on. So if you want to see this page, enable App Vault, and if you want to hide it, disable it. Next we have the option to mirror buttons. Now usually on most phones, especially phones with pure stock Android, it doesn't give you the option to swap the back and menu button. But on this phone, we can do it. Next we have an app lock built into the system. We can set it up with a different password from your lock screen password and obviously lock applications. Now whenever you try to open any locked application, you have to either enter the password or we can use a fingerprint scanner. Now there are many third-party applications which can do the same, but this feature comes inbuilt and it's quite secure. Next we have private SMS. Now for some reason, if you want to hide messages from a specific contact, using this feature you can do that. In the default messaging application, you can swipe down until you see the lock to enter the private messages space. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from your lock screen password and app lock. From here, you can configure this feature. Next we have Folder Vault. Now using this feature, we can hide files on your phone. Whether it's a video, photo or any other file, you can hide all those files in the Folder Vault. To use this feature, open the file manager and swipe down until you see the lock icon. Once again, you have to set up a password and it can be different from any other password you have already set. Now once you're done configuring this feature, you can select any file, go to menu and click hide to hide that file. So guys, those were all the best features. If I missed on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video and definitely check out my video on tips and tricks section. Link is in the description. Now if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.